Hi everyone, it's Chelsea from Little Mountain Ranch. Welcome back to my channel. I'm really happy that you have chosen to spend a little bit of time with me today. I have a really busy day today, but happily it gets to be outside. As you can see, it is an absolutely gorgeous day out today and it's quite warm, so I'm going to be able to get some projects that I wanted to get going outside. And then this afternoon I have some things that I need to do down in the basement because I'm very happy to say that I'm going to be starting an indoor grow room. This year is just going to be kind of the beginnings of it, but we do have plans to build an actual grow room in our basement for my seed starting, but also for microgreens in the wintertime. One of the biggest gaps that I have in my food storage is in getting fresh greens in the wintertime. I rely still pretty heavily on the grocery store for that, but I'm excited to say that we're at the beginning stages of changing that up. So I have to do a big rearrange in my basement and try to cram everything that is in my bulk food pantry downstairs into my cold room, and it's not a very big space, so I'm going to have to get really creative with that. So I wanted to bring you along with that when I do that today. I also have some winter pruning that I need to get done, and you can see this bird feeder behind me here. This isn't the permanent location for this bird feeder. I actually want to put it somewhere so that I can see it out of the majority of the windows out of the front of my house. So we're going to be moving that down. Just got me a big 4x4 so that we can attach it to the deck and then put this on top. You can see all the little birds flying around there. This really does help combat the winter blues for me when I can look out the window and see movement and hear the birds chirping. I suffer from some seasonal depression in February. It's not like, the best way I can describe it, it's not like I feel sad or upset or angry or anything like that. It's not really an emotional thing. It's more physical. I just get a really heavy feeling kind of in behind my eyes and the back of my head. I don't feel really motivated. I feel really tired. It's more of a physical depression than it is an emotional one. I do a lot of things to try to combat that, but I can tell you that the number one thing that helps the most is getting outside when I'm able to, getting some sun shining on my face and doing some work outside. It does wonders for my spirits. So I am going to go in the house and grab my husband because he's going to be helping me with a bunch of these projects today. Are you ready, hon? One of the first projects that I want to get done is to continue working on the pruning for some of my ornamental trees. This is an ornamental crabapple tree, and it provides an amazing abundance of food for my bees in the early spring. I have just been learning over the last couple of years about pruning, and one of the things about trying to recuperate an old overgrown tree like this one is that it does take a couple of years to do that. But can you see some of these cross branches, like this one right here and the one in behind? Those are blocking out a lot of the light to some of the other trees. And as you can see, there are a whole bunch of vertical, I don't know if you can see that, vertical branches that go up here that aren't actually fruiting branches or flowering branches at all. So I want to get in here, and with the chainsaw, I'm going to be taking off branch right here that kind of curves up. I'm going to remove that one, or I should say Dan's going to, or he's going to assist me. Chainsaws are not something that I have a ton of experience with, so maybe I can get a couple of lessons too, but we're going to take that, and then I'm going to go in with my pruning shears and remove a bunch of the other smaller branches from this tree. The thing about pruning old trees like this is it does take a couple of years. So I started on this one 2 years ago, just kind of removing all the dead wood off of it. And then last year I went in and got a little bit more aggressive with some of the non-fruiting branches. And this year is going to be where I'm lopping off some of the really big ones. I'm in no way an expert though. This is a lilac bush. It's absolutely humongous. This is over 100 years old. It was one of the original flowering bushes that was planted here. This house here was built in the 1970s, but the original house here was built in the 1920s, and this was planted then. I am actually taking this tree, I'm cutting it right to the ground. Lilacs are kind of like weeds, and I know it's going to grow up again, but when it grows up again, I will control the size that it gets, and I'll keep it more of a smaller shrub than this. So I'm going to take that one right down, and then probably by midsummer, I'll show you by midsummer. Even this big, you really should prune off all of the dead flower heads in order to get a really good flower for the following year. And this is so big that I can't even get up there to cut them off. So that's the plan with that one. And then I have been doing the same thing over the last couple of years with this plum tree here. I don't even really know what to do, if I should remove some of the main trunks because it actually has 2 main trunks, or 3 main trunks that come out of the bottom of it. One thing I'm going to do though is remove some of the top off of it because I can't even get the fruit off the top of that tree either. And I'm happy to spend a couple of hours out here before I go down into the basement and start doing the rearrange of what's happening down there. This might get broken up into 2 videos if it gets too long. Okay, I am going to go find my chainsaw, my gloves, and my goggles. Oh, that sun, honestly. Really hard because they're all stuck together.
I'll grab my other saw and cut them up, I guess.
Yeah, Dan just went to get his bigger saw. We're just going to cut up all of these into smaller, more manageable chunks, and then everyone can pitch in and move them to the burn bin. I cannot tell you how much better I feel just having been out here in the sunshine for a couple hours. So now my little tree is going to have way more light. We're actually going to take down some more of the branches to give it even more light, but we have to wait to get a taller ladder. Our ladder is not tall enough. And then we also have one branch that is touching the roof that we also have to take down. But other than that, I feel pretty good about this, and it's so much brighter in this space with this giant lilac. Look at the size of the stump, and this is from a lilac. That's absolutely crazy. So the kids were like, no, you're taking out the big lilac. And I said, trust me, by midsummer, it's going to probably be 5 feet tall again. And I'm just going to keep it trimmed down, or pruned down rather. So now we're going to go and do the bird feeder. The reason that I want to move the bird feeder right here is because all the windows on my house face out this way. So that way, no matter where I am, whether I'm in the kitchen, the dining room, or the living room, I'll be able to look out and see the birds. Hey buddy, how are ya? Like my dream birdhouse right here. This is like, I have been waiting for such a thing for a very long time. Alright guys, I need to head inside and eat some lunch because I'm starving, but my birds are all happy and it's wonderful to be able to be inside and see the bird feeder and all the birds. It just cheers me up so much. I was going to add in some of the stuff I'm going to do in the house, but I think I'm going to have to make that a separate video because this video is going to go on far too long. I hope you all have a wonderful day and I'll see you again soon. Bye!